Good day everyone. We are Group 8 from Bachelor of Elementary Education Department, and we are here to present to you our findings regarding our topic entitled Teachers' Feedback, its impact on students' academic performance. So allow me to introduce my group. First, I am Mendoza Krishna A. So here's a brief description about myself. Next in line, we have Mirai Nohaila Jane C. Next, we have Plaza Joe O. Next one, we have Oreo Marianne C. And lastly, we have Ramos Jeremy P. So for our SOP1, for our findings, this slide summarizes the main challenges identified by our small group of respondents when it comes to providing feedback to students. So the initial statistical analysis shows that the kind of challenge teachers face doesn't necessarily predict how often they face challenges. And we suggest that both types of issues can occur independently. So as you can see, the most frequently mentioned or the most frequently mentioned barrier is lack of time. So 60% of our respondents said that time constraint is one of the most frequent challenges. So this likely stems from large class sizes, heavy workloads, and limited dedicated time for feedback. Another significant challenge is student receptiveness. So that is stated by 40% of our respondents, and I think it's also important to note that a substantial number of teachers struggle with how students receive and utilize feedback. So this involves students' engagement, emotional responses, and their understanding of constructive feedback or criticism. So the distinction here is crucial. So time constraint is likely a systemic issue that needs institutional solutions, while student receptiveness might be better addressed through teaching strategies and teacher development. So these initial findings are based on a very small sample size, so we should interpret them with caution. However, they provide early indicators of the key challenges educators are experiencing. Next.
For our SOP2, this slide indicated that the effectiveness of feedback is not always related to class size and that there must be other contributing factors such as teaching approach and student involvement. There is no obvious connection between large classes and full effectiveness. Pay attention to sound teaching methods and employ mechanisms such as technology in a large classes and encourage constant teachers growth. So the pedagogy is more critical than class size in the provision of effective feedback. Next, please.
For the SOP number 3, the inconsistent impact feedback effectiveness rated extremely or moderately varies across similar class size 40 and 50, suggesting class size is not the same determinant. By the weak link, little known direct relationship observed between larger class sizes and lower feedback impact in this data. Other factors are likely more influential. Two recommended guidelines that prioritize effective pedagogy focus on training teachers in impactful feedback strategies applicable for all class sizes. Second, explore large class strategies. Share best practices for managing feedback in larger settings, prioritize key tasks, and leverage technology peers assessment. Third, investigate other factors, recognize the likely influence teaching methods and student engagement on feedback effectiveness, encourage further exploration. Lastly, invest in teacher development. Provide ongoing professional learning opportunities. Focus on enhancing feedback skills for diverse classrooms. So overall, class size is important. The effectiveness of feedback rely on more use of effective teaching strategies and consideration of other key elements. Next, please.
Okay, so for the conclusion of the study concludes that teacher feedback is important for student academic performance. So while teachers face challenges, they like time constraints and student receptiveness, these are reportedly infrequent. So this aligns with existing research highlighting similar barriers to effective feedback. Although some correlations were observed between challenges and student understanding, they were not statistically significant, likely due to the small sample size. So similarly, no clear link was found between class size and feedback effectiveness, so suggesting other factors are more influential. The findings support the broader understanding that feedback has a medium positive effect on student learning, but its effectiveness is complex and depends on various factors beyond just class size. So overall, the study observed the nuanced relationship between class size and feedback impact with similar class sizes, showing different levels of perceived effectiveness. So this variability suggests that factors like teaching style, student interaction, feedback quality, timing, and individual student characteristics likely interact to determine the impact of teacher feedback. So, may I call the next presenter?
And for our recommendation, based on our study findings, we present recommendations to address existing challenges and enrich the broader understanding of feedback effectiveness. This study serves a supplementary resource to existing local literature, aiming to guide educators, and administrators, and learners in fostering a more constructive feedback culture. To improve feedback practices, schools should implement structured feedback systems, providing clear guidelines on feedback types, timing, and delivery style. Teachers should receive professional development on feedback individualized feedback strategies, including workshops and role-playing scenarios. Also, the time constraints remain a challenge, but solutions like technology use, peer reviews, and dedicated feedback periods can help. Students should also be taught how to interpret and apply feedback, engaging in activities that encourage self reflection and peer assessment. Also, a sustainable feedback culture must be fostered where both students and teachers exchange feedback openly and respectfully. Finally, regular monitoring and review will ensure that feedback strategies remain effective and beneficial for student learning.
So this sums up our presentation for today. We thank you for listening, and I hope you love it.